So let's start with you. What is psoriasis and how does it develop?
Well, psoriasis is a long-term skin condition where, for some reason, the immune system in the body triggers the cells to replace themselves far more quickly than they would do normally. So normally skin cells replace themselves over a matter of 3 or 4 weeks. With psoriasis, the cells replace themselves over a matter of days.
Wow.
And that causes the cells to build up, and you get the red, itchy patches on the skin, which is not just a physical issue for people. I mean, it has a very emotional issue as well, but primarily because of the way the skin appears, but also because of the way other people react to somebody who's got psoriasis. There are a lot of myths around psoriasis, so let's get those out of the way. One, it's not contagious, and it's not because somebody's done wrong. And the one thing you can do to help somebody with psoriasis is not stare.
Okay. Yeah. All right. But what is there anything in particular that causes it? Can stress bring it on or anything like that?
Well, nobody knows exactly what kicks it off, but certainly flare-ups of psoriasis can be triggered by stress, they can be triggered by infection, they can be triggered by injury. So when we're looking after people with psoriasis, we try and encourage them to identify what sort of triggers might set their psoriasis off and to avoid those as best as possible, along with, of course, the treatments, the creams, the ointments, and sometimes the ultraviolet light therapy as well.
Okay, all right, so let's speak to Sonya now. So tell us, when did you first notice a change in your skin?
Well, the first time that I got it, I must have been about 12. And it was literally at the back of my leg, and it's something that tends to be in the family. But that was then, and it went away after a little while. And this time, literally 3 years ago, my dad passed away in Thailand. And we don't really know what killed him or how, but we know it was all, the Thai police, it was a big cover-up. And for instance, he would go travelling for 6 months at a time. And he was quite a rich man, you know, so he always had money in his wallet, and he had great cameras and stuff like that. And when his stuff actually came back, along with his body, which had him repatriated, there was hardly anything in his suitcase. So I was out there for my birthday. This was in the October of 2012. He died on January the 11th of 2013. So he would have had all of these pictures, and he was a bit of a party animal, you know. He was 72, but something was very amiss about it, and we couldn't get to the bottom of it at all.
Is that when you started to get really stressed out? And like,
you know, because I don't know what killed my dad. So it almost is like a robbery or something like that. But it's all very corrupt over there, which I knew anyway, because he used to go into, it's a place called Pattaya. There's lots of go-go bars, things like that. You know, it's an absolute party animal, but still, whenever you lose a parent, it's painful anyway, but we will never know what happened, me and my younger brother and sister, so it was awful. So I had that.
When did things flare up then? Did the psoriasis get worse at that point?
Yeah. And I suffer from ulcerative colitis, which apparently has something to do with the immune system that you were saying as well. It's all the same thing, and the stress just brought that out. And a year or so later, my long-term, you know, literally the love of my life, we kept arguing, so I was so miserable all the time, and I couldn't cheer up. And he said, that's it, I just can't do this anymore. And I couldn't believe it, and that's when it went, well, I just became covered in it, and it was awful. And I kept going to the doctors, and they said, no, you know, you'll be fine, you know, fobbed me off with a bit of cream. And I said, look, I really need to go to the hospital. I said, it is absolutely everywhere.
And what did it feel like? Was it burning? Was it itchy?
It bleeds, and it got to a point where I would have to hoover my bed in the morning. And in my scalp, you know, as well. I mean, I've got a piece on today. My hair hasn't grown through like it should have done, which as a woman, I'm quite a feminine woman. I like to wear old retro stuff, you know, like 1950s and 60s clothes. I can't even wear a miniskirt or a dress. So obviously, I did actually go to hospital. I had 7 weeks of treatment, light treatment, and you go and have a bath and all of that. It did go away, and literally 2 weeks.
Went away completely when you had that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally 2 weeks later, it started to come back again. So it's back on my legs. You know, I've got a bit on my arm there, and I just hate the point. You know, you can feel somebody staring at you, especially women. It's always women, because I don't know why. And I think, oh, don't stare at me. And I'd even if I was in a queue somewhere, I'd put a hat on in case someone's like staring at my scalp, my head. So it's made me really paranoid anyway.
Which is what goes back to what you're saying, like when don't stare. But I suppose it's because people don't know, like sometimes it's out of ignorance, isn't it? You just see something that you're not used to seeing and you stare. But that's obviously why we do shows like this, is to raise the awareness, to help in all sorts of things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as you say, it's often the condition is made doubly hard to look after because of the way other people react. And psoriasis, particularly when you get in the scalp, will cause an awful lot of flakes on the shoulders. So people will keep saying, "Oh, you've got bad dandruff," or "I'll give you a treat. I know a good shampoo for that." But actually, it's not the dandruff you've got. You've got a significant skin condition, and the emotional side of it is it will isolate people. They won't go out, and it's actually it drives them. The stress makes it worse. They stay at home. They won't go out. They get depressed, and it just drives this vicious cycle. So if anyone can sort of learn a bit more about psoriasis and be a bit more sensitive to those who've got skin conditions, it will be a huge bonus for the millions of people who have skin conditions in the UK.
Has it stopped you like from sort of going out and things, or would you say you're kind of?
It did do when it was terrible, when it was literally all over. But I just wish that, it sounds so funny really, that most women want to be skinny or taller or something like that. And I will look at somebody over there, if I'm out somewhere in a bar, and I'll go, my God, look at her skin, it's beautiful, because it's nice and clear. And it upsets me so much, honestly, it's awful. That's the thing, because it does something inside as well. And you're trying to get better, so I've been going on loads of bloody sunbeds, like literally. But it's not good for you, that's the thing. I don't know what else to do. And I've had people say, maybe it's something in your diet, maybe like too much alcohol, or because I like to eat a lot of cheese as well, cut out that. So I did that and it didn't work. It really is. It's yourself attacking you because of the stress. But I don't know of any other way to sort of deal with it. I guess it's just kind of having to deal with what's happened in my life. But at the end of the day, that pain is still there.
It's something like this though, Rob. I'll ask you here as well, because obviously you're going through a lot of emotional things as well. Have you ever had counselling or anything like that for it, or is it just something you've
because it's still there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And there's only so much makeup that you can put on your arms and legs. I mean,
but to deal with the stress, all the stuff that you went through with your dad and everything like that. Because
I haven't.
That's still there. And that's what could be causing making it even worse. I don't know if you agree.
But we also refer people to skin clinics where they see psychologists because of the psychological impact skin conditions have on people, and it helps them to deal with not just the skin condition but other people's reactions and actually the whole stress of all the treatments. I mean, to be fair, the treatments are effective, but they take a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to put cream on the body and to follow the guidance of the
doesn't
dermatologist.
Work in 5 minutes.
No, and I remember meeting somebody who has very severe psoriasis who said, well, actually, I don't bother to go out because it takes me 3 hours to get ready with all the treatments, and then I know that a couple of hours later I've got to do the same thing again. So they say, well, actually, I just stay at home because that's my routine. But from a treatment point of view, we also now have a new range of treatments, the biological therapies, which actually adjust how the immune system responds. So I would say to anybody who's got psoriasis, who's gone through the routine treatments, as we call them, and has had the UV treatment as well, if they've not been considered for this sort of treatment, they ought to have a chat with a dermatologist to see whether it's appropriate for them. It may not be, but nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Is that something you could try?
I'm going back to the dermatologist tomorrow, actually.
Okay, all right.
Back again. And I did a photo shoot for The Sun back in February when I was on your programme the first time, a couple of weeks later. And that story has gone all over the world. And I did a shoot in a bikini for that, to try and get it out there, to say to people...
I saw the pictures, I thought you were so brave to do that.
I just thought I looked fat and horrible. I was like, oh no.
No, but you did something to raise awareness about something, and I thought it was really brave of you to do that, because not many people would. But the fact is you're raising awareness about it, you're trying to get help for people that are going through it, which I thought was great.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a lot of guts and courage to do that.
Yeah. Just be nice to actually wear a bikini and not have to worry, you know, just be clear. I don't care about being a bit bloated or putting on a bit of weight anymore. I really don't care. I just want to be clear. That's all. It's not too much.
Well, the good thing is they're still doing research and things, aren't they, Rob? To, like I said, they've got this new range of
therapies are emerging, but I think we mustn't forget the psychological impact and the benefit that psychological therapy can have, even if it's as simple as encouraging somebody not to scratch, because one of the things with psoriasis is you want to scratch, and that tends to make matters worse. And so there are you know, scratch and itch clinics where people can attend with a psychologist to learn how to deal with that moment, to distract themselves from the moment so that they don't cause further damage to the skin. So it's always something, you know, there's always something that can be done.
I've heard that there's an injection that you can be given, but I know that it's very, very expensive. I have actually asked for it. I mean, I think it's like a couple of grand for an injection that you give to yourself after you've gone through all the bits and pieces that I've gone through after the, you know, past few years. But that's what I'm going to be asking about.
Ask your dermatologist.
Yeah.
If it's right for you, they will encourage it. But remember that all treatments are not right for everybody, so it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely. Hi, I'm Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show.